afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Gonna be a nice long evening of plane spotting. Of course, we have Aer Lingus and Iceland on the way. But first and foremost, make sure you all smash the like button as you make your way in. Let's get the likes smashed and let's get this chat up and rolling. Again, if you are a channel member, spam that chat with the emojis. So again, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody had a wonderful start to your week. Hopefully not too bad of a Monday or Tuesday. It's going to be a good Tuesday. Going to get some plane spotting in. Of course, both of our heavies here getting ready to leave in just a few minutes. Air France, the American 777 at 7 o'clock. Or the American back to London at 7 o'clock. 6 o'clock, we have Air France. About 7 and 7:30, we'll have the arrivals of Aer Lingus and Iceland. So let's go ahead and give you guys a little bit of an update. We are on the 5s tonight. Unfortunately, I'm sad about that. We're looking at 46 minutes before the arrival of Aer Lingus. Now, as always, if you guys are new to the channel, we always try to get to at least 100 likes before we hit the bottom of the hour. So before 6:30, we'd like to get to 100 likes. All right, we got Iceland tonight as well. 1 hour and 9 minutes. They're getting ready to pass over the Hamptons. It's going to be a 737 MAX 8 this evening. So again, welcome in, everybody. Again, if you're new to the channel, broadcasting in 4K. 4K is available if you are able to watch. So greetings, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Once again, thank you all for hanging out. This Tuesday, much better than last Tuesday. Doesn't look like we're going to get run off by any lightning this Tuesday. To be fair, we are in a pretty crappy location this afternoon. Absolutely nowhere to park. There was no spaces upstairs, and I just so happened to get lucky to get the one that we got downstairs. So this was the only spot available this evening. I wanted to be upstairs for a little bit better of a view, but again, no such luck there. See this American A321. We'll find out where they're off to here in just a moment. No radio tonight. My your host's goofy self walked out of the house without the radio. I had it charging last night, so no ATC this evening. As many of you guys know, ATC Live does not work for us for whatever reason. That's how we first got started with doing this, was ATC Live, but ATC Live no longer working. By the way, thank you all for Sunday, too, by the way. Absolutely amazing turnout for Sunday afternoon. A lot of support on Sunday. I think our show from Sunday hit almost 12,000 views, so thank you all for that. Nice long show Sunday. It was very busy, and that's exactly what we like to see, a nice busy afternoon. Had all of our international arrivals, and once again, just like in your host's fashion, in Carolina Aviation fashion, your host got out of here just in time on Sunday. Shortly after I signed off with you guys, the rain started coming down, and boy, let me tell you, that rain trying to get home was awful. some of the worst rain I think I've actually probably is the worst rain I have ever driven in. And of course, this afternoon I've got our fan employed. I'll give you a little sneak peek or a little behind the scenes deal here. As you can see, wearing black, but the sun's gonna beat in on us until sunset, so till about 8:30. So your host is gonna be quite toasty. But this will be a good opportunity for us to tell if the camera's gonna overheat or not, right? We were talking about that before. Hopefully the camera doesn't overheat, but you never know. So a couple of Airbuses on the move, looks like. The A320 for Frontier there. And a Delta a little further out. Speaking of the fan, move that around a little bit so that I am under the fan, or the fan is blowing on me, I should say. I was kind of hoping they would have switched directions so that I'm not fighting the sun quite as much. Obviously the sun is going to be on me regardless, but when we're shooting and looking to the south side for the arrivals, the sun is directly almost in your host's face. Again, like I said, not the greatest positioning tonight due to limited parking issues. That's what we run into on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's part of the reason why we were only doing Wednesdays for so long. The parking on Wednesday seems to be quite significantly better. Should be some good sounding departures though from this location. Co-workers departed a little while ago down to Atlanta. I'm surprised he didn't text me right before he got on the plane, but he was texting me to find out what time I was going to be on today. He left work around noon. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. 62 likes already, and we're only 10 minutes into the show, so that's a good sign. If you guys keep smashing the like button and we reach 100 by 6:15, that means tonight's show is going to hopefully be a good show and hopefully be featured via YouTube. The more you guys interact in the chat and the faster we get those likes in the first 30 minutes, stick around for the first 30 minutes, the better YouTube likes the show, and YouTube will feature us, try to push us to further reaches on the internet. So remember to smash that like button. Gained 100 and something new friends on Sunday too, by the way. Not a record-breaking day, but again, a huge day for subscribers. Thank you all for subscribing too. As a matter of fact, let's take a look. We're starting the day with 12,437. If we can get things rolling here with the chat and the likes and everything, there is a good possibility we could reach at least 50. Oh, sweet. Sorry, talking. Miss Carolina is trying to do some things from home for the show remotely. So we have a Frontier touchdown. So Miss Carolina trying to get some things done remotely at home. This thing is going to be in my way. Yeah, I made, thank you for the kind words about it, about the quality. I made a couple of changes, a couple more changes to the camera. Again, we are operating a new camera for the last 3 weeks here, so I am still learning the camera and what settings we need and where to be and all the things, so I appreciate your feedback on the quality of the show. Now, some of the crummy quality does derive from, well, the internet not playing ball. I get a lot of issues with the internet here at Raleigh. RDU, not a whole lot can be done about that, sadly. But it's just one of those things that we can't control, sadly. We want to be able to control it. Sorry, I had to move the fan around. Where I've got it's just not good enough for me. It's not blowing on me well enough. So 20 likes away from reaching 100 before 6:15. Man, that's a way to blow the like challenge, our first like challenge, out of the water. Alex, Steph K, TPG, Ramona. See, Miss Carolina operating the chat from home. So she's able to integrate and do some things from home. She can't put anything up on the screen. That has to be done from here, but she can do a couple other things, like she could put in polls and a couple other things. Here we go. We got Alaska from Seattle. Alaska 572. Will we get a surprise Southwest over here on this side today? $12 more likes to go. Keep up the good work. Showcase our lovely RDU. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat, Dennis. Greatly appreciate that. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the support. Hey, we're at 94 likes. Thank you, Dennis. Greatly appreciate that. Absolutely amazing support. All right, so Alaska, I'm trying to keep my hands off my phone as much as possible here because it's charging for one and it's really, really hot. But let's head back to flight radar here. Never mind. That was Seattle, San Diego flight for Alaska. Alaska off to Seattle is coming up here in just a moment. So Alaska to Seattle is getting ready to come down the hill. We've got a CRJ on final. Get some flight info on this one in just a second. I'm a little off on flight info this afternoon. Got another arrival coming in here in just a second. Boy, the top of that camera is hot. Glad the camera has its own processing fan. All right, so Endeavor 5150 coming in from JFK, 1 hour 8 minutes for that CRJ 900LR. That one delivered back in January of 2019. So a 7-year-old CRJ. So again, as I stated when we started the show, we are on the 5, sadly, so no double action. No double runways tonight, unfortunately. JG joining economy class. Thank you so much. Now you have access to all of the emojis as well as any equipment upgrades that we make, or if we have any special shows. You get first access to those types of things. And again, if you guys were gifted memberships, please feel free to hold on to those. Continue to be members if you're enjoying having those emojis. Lots of new members this month, so lots and lots of memberships gifted over the course of this, well, the first half of July. Still a movement out of our A350 Air France back to Paris. No movement just yet. Let's find out. Did we make it to 100 by 6:15? Did I miss out on that? I'm sure I did. All right, so Frontier 1669 off to Atlanta, Georgia. It says it departed 14 minutes ago, but oh, there it goes. Now it's resetting. There on flight radar. We should see Alaska Airlines coming down the hill. Can we see it crossing the bridge, though? I think I'm a little bit too far back for the bridge shot tonight. Boy, I got nowhere to put my phone to keep it out of the sunlight. So again, thank you all for the support. Hopefully we made it to 100 likes. If we did, let's try to get some more here before the bottom of the hour. Typically try to get 100 by the bottom of the hour. Oh, that's hot. That keyboard is not happy. Very, very hot keyboard. All right, here we are. Alaska back to Seattle. Now I gotta fix what I was trying to work on here right quick before Alaska gets a move on. 115 likes, 118 folks watching. Again, thank you all for tuning in on a Tuesday night. I've got a sunshade up to shade the computer so it doesn't try to overheat on us. Got the fans on. There goes Alaska. am, again, still playing with some settings with the camera. So every once in a while, you'll see me take a brief pause and go silent for a minute as I try to fix some things. So up to 115 likes. Thank you all for smashing the like button. We should see the departure of Air France any time. Should be here in just a few minutes. See if I can, while we're waiting on other arrivals, let's see if I can get my chat to roll, or my likes to roll tonight. Currently sitting at 126 likes, 125 folks watching. That's a pretty good ratio. Thank you all for taking the time to smash the like button. Again, smashing that like button early on in the show is what gets YouTube's algorithm pumping. It's lost. There it is. Quad jet action? I'm not gonna be able to see it. Sorry, playing with settings once again. Try to move this fan one more time. It's hot when you're wearing a black t-shirt. Miss Carolina gifting out 1 Carolina Aviation membership. Congratulations. Thank you to Miss Carolina for gifting out that membership. So we got a CRJ sitting out here waiting on this one just below us here to push back. That one's getting ready to push here in just a moment. Let's take a peek at some arrival action we've got coming up. We've got Republic Airways 3626 coming in from Washington Dulles. 38 minutes of flight time. That's going to be a E175LR. How old are you? Delivered in October of 2015. That's going to be followed up by JetBlue 404 coming in from San Juan, Puerto Rico. 3 hours, 4 minutes of flight time for the A320 that is 19 years of age. Delivered back in March of 2007. We should have the FedEx 785, that heavy, coming in here in a little while. There's FedEx. 30 minutes for the 767-300. Let's see, how old are you? 6 years of age, delivered in September of 2019. Aer Lingus crossing into North Carolina. Got about 20 minutes left for that. So let's see, is it the bottom of the hour? We got about 4 more minutes for the bottom of the hour. Get that first like challenge out of the way. No, I haven't seen any exciting cars, but to be fair, I am set back a little bit further tonight, so it is hard for me to see down there for any exciting cars. But if I do see any, I will definitely be spotting those, as you guys know. Eddie, it was a good day. Well, I can't say it was a good day. It was a decent day. Not horrible, not bad. Work is work. Just glad to be out here and doing what I really am enjoying doing at the moment. Be out here hanging out with all of you guys. 37 likes. Man, we might make it to 150. Got 13 likes to go before the till we get to 150, and we've got about 2 minutes. So if you haven't smashed the like button, please do so. 150 likes by the bottom of the hour is a very, very good number. Here comes our E-175 from Washington Dulles. Good looking arrival for the E-175 from DC. Again, about 38 minutes, 40 minutes of flight time for this one. Coming down from the nation's capital. Yes, you guys can follow along with ATC there on the ATC Live app if it works for you. For whatever reason here in Raleigh, it doesn't seem to want to work. I can't get it to work. I'm going to zoom out one more time here. We're going to hold just a second. I'm trying to get it to where my like counter is rolling so I know where we stand with likes and I can watch them go up or down. You can unlike the show too. It happens. I've seen it. All right, so let's see. Ooh, 2 likes away from 150, and it is 6:30. Who's going to bring in those last 2 likes? David, afternoon. So who's going to pull in those last 2 likes for 150 right here at the first half hour of the show? So if you guys are new, as always, we are broadcasting in 4K. Try to bring you live action in 4K. This is JetBlue 404 from San Juan, Puerto Rico, the A320. Nothing special about JetBlue tonight. Sunday night, if you remember correctly, we had JetBlue in the New York Fire Department livery. What do you guys think of the thumbnail for Sunday's show? Putting all of the special liveries up there from the show, all as our thumbnail, including that all-white A220 previously delivered to Egypt Air, now flying for Breeze Airways, with no paint on it currently. Just painted all white. Hold on. I don't know that that's going to make my life any easier or if it's going to make my life worse. We know that's going to make it worse. Let's go up one more. Trying to fix the rate at which our tripod will spin. been on YouTube the last couple of days. Hopefully tonight I'll be able to watch Pip's show. He sent me a text saying he's going to be on tonight after we end. I didn't see his show to send you guys that way. We've got PSA Airlines coming in from Philadelphia. 54 minutes of flight time for this CRJ 900LR. This one, 11 years of age, delivered in October of 2014. But as you can see, we've got the A350 pushback of Air France. Let's turn to our CRJ. For arrival. Not a whole lot of clouds tonight, so hopefully we'll be able to give you guys a spectacular sunset segment this evening. It's our beautiful Air France getting ready to head back to Paris. So there you go. Again, make sure you guys spam the chat with your favorite airline here. Air France being one of our special and stars of our show. $165 likes. I'm hoping that my like counter will roll. This is like the 5th time I've tried to get it to work. Joe Bruce gifting out Carolina Aviation memberships. Where is that? There it is. Sending out 5 Carolina Aviation memberships. Thank you, Joe. Great support there from Joe. Absolutely amazing support. Congratulations to everybody who was gifted a membership. That is, I don't know, well over 300 gifted memberships just for the first half of the month alone. Getting close. I think we're at 270 something, 280 something now, 284 I think. So 284 gifted memberships in the first 14 days of the month. So thank you so much, Joe, for gifting out those. Again, if you were gifted a membership, feel free, again, to spam the chat with your favorite airline. Tail emoji. Got an American Eagle departing. E175. Got a CRJ just below us starting up, causing quite the traffic jam here. Because now we've got the United E175 from Washington Dulles in just behind the other CRJ, waiting to go to the gates. But again, the A350 getting ready to go. Got an American 737 coming in right now. I missed this one on radar. That one coming in from Dallas Fort Worth. American Airlines 2361 737-8. 25 years of age, delivered in April of 2001 for the 73. .737 going to run long here. Running out past the, well, they might be getting off right there at the observation decks. Hold on, I got to turn you guys to the sky. There we go. All right, Air France, getting ready. Here we go. We'll get a close-up of the CRJ. Coming to the gate. Our second marshalling shot. We started the show with a marshalling shot. Hard to see all the things in the shade there. So again, our A350 back to Charles de Gaulle, ready to go. They are finally taxiing out here at A350-900. We've got another arrival. So we finish up with the marshalling shot. Be a nice touchdown for that one. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, a little off on the views tonight due to the lack of parking. Parking very limited this evening. Nowhere upstairs, and I was about to give up when I came across this spot here on the 6th floor. Right, we need a marshalling emoji. You know what? I'll send Scott a message. So ZCAM, there are 2 airports there in Paris. You've got Charles de Gaulle, the one this one's headed back to, and you have Orly. 2 different airports there in Paris. One's a little further out, I think, than the other. But they do have more than just the 2. But Orly is one of their main airports. Got another arrival coming in as we wait on the A350 to make its way around here. It's just getting close. Looks to be our A319 from Miami. Come on, you guys, shut down your APUs. Let's go. I'd like to crank it up. 20 likes to 200. Continue to smash that like button as quickly as possible. I think the like goal for tonight is just 300. All right, so that American A319, if it'll stop moving, is from Miami. American Airlines 2406. We've got another arrival. That is going to be Frontier. No, it's going to be... Oh, yes, it is. Sorry. Clicked on the wrong one. Frontier 1225 coming in from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Maya, the Jaguar livery. 2 hours 56 minutes of flight time for this one. An A321. This one, brand spanking new, delivered in April of 2026. So this plane, 3 months old, thereabouts. So a brand new A321. A little bit of a bounce for Maya there. Oh, that brand new 321. All right, back to Air France. Yeah, I think the APUs are going to continue to run. They're not going to give us a quiet moment here to get things quieted down. 9 likes away from 200. 200 likes in 1 hour. Let's keep this pace going. Thank you all for smashing the like button. I still can't get my to work. My like counter does not want to roll. All right, Air France, ready to go. One more like to 200. Again, apologies, no radio tonight. Your goofy host walked out of the house this morning without the radio. I had it charging, and I walked out of the house without it. Of course, somebody now shuts their APU off. All right, so where is Aer Lingus? All right, so we've hit 200 likes, right? 207 likes at the takeoff. So thank you all for that one. Greatly appreciate that. Aer Lingus coming up in just a few minutes. $192 according to mine, but again, mine is not rolling. It doesn't look like it's going to roll tonight, unfortunately. 175 folks watching. Again, Aer Lingus coming up in just a minute. Here is our brand new A321 Maya, the Jaguar livery, delivered in April of this year. So a nice fresh piece here for Frontier Airlines. Our next arrival is going to be American Airlines 543 coming in from Phoenix Sky Harbor. An A321-200. This one, 25 years of age, delivered in June of 2001. That one there, I believe, is an old... I wish it told me more about these registration numbers on here, but I think this one starts with N. It was like a North... Oh, no, it says UW at the end. I can't remember the reg numbers, how they work. But that 25-year-old A321 coming up in just a moment. Two folks watching. Again, like I said, Maya here, a brand new A321, delivered in April, as we wait for the old bird to come around. From Phoenix Sky Harbor. Alright, so I think Aer Lingus is number 2. Again, we still have one more heavy arrival, the 767-300 from Memphis, carrying all of your packages. Aer Lingus coming from Dublin, the A321 XLR, brand new, delivered. Well, it says brand new. Delivered in August of 2025, so less than a year old. This one's birthday is coming up next month. So a 1-year-old XLR for Aer Lingus. Flying all the way from Dublin. Lingus waving in here. It's not windy out by any stretch. Oh, go around. Aer Lingus. Couldn't make it happen. Aer Lingus will go try that one more time. There's a little southwest action to the left of your screen. Shamrock, be back in just a minute. Thought they were a bit wobbly for their arrival. We'll see them again in a moment. Let's see, who do we got up for departure next? There we go, United on the move. Let's turn our attention back over here. We've got a Delta ready to go. Let's find out where United's off to. United 1205. Let's see, they're going to give me any info. United 1205, 737. They're off to Newark, New Jersey. Looks like our FedEx 767 is going to come back in before the Aer Lingus. Sounds like Miss Carolina's got a poll question going for you guys. I have no idea what it is at the moment. I don't see the polls because of the chat. So I'll have to open up my phone. We'll let the Delta slide. Let's see if I can get eyes on this poll question. Question for all the Carolina Aviation expanded. If Carolina Aviation expanded beyond live streams, what videos would you watch? So there you go, a good poll question activated by yours truly, Miss Carolina. Airport tours, that's nice. Behind the scenes, me and Miss Carolina have been talking about. So Miss Carolina's texting me like a crazy person because she's discovered something new. Again, good afternoon, everybody. You guys tuning in just a smidgen too late. The Aer Lingus performing the go-arounds here, a little unstable on their approach. I'm going to try to grab a drink here before we have any more arrivals. Again, we've got the FedEx 767 Heavy coming in from Memphis, Tennessee here in just a couple of minutes. That one's downwind somewhere. Hard for me to see with the sun directly in my face. But again, Miss Carolina is able to do a whole lot more things. So she's doing some things from home, remotely, for the show. Too bad we can't get her on OBS. Hey, 226 likes, 191 folks watching. Thank you all for smashing the like button. Again, get close to the top of the hour here. It is the top of the hour. Again, if you guys are new, feel free to subscribe to the channel. That's a free way to support what we're doing, as well as smashing the like button. A couple of free ways to help the channel. Also, we are broadcasting in 4K if you are new here. And so if you're able to watch in 4K, please feel free to do so. So, we started the night with 12,437. We've only gained 2 new friends tonight, which is to be expected on a Tuesday night. Tuesday and Thursday nights are more of our regular viewers, so thank you all for tuning in and being consistent viewers. The one where they call it over the radio, Miles, the Lufthansa to Toulouse, I have seen that video and it is hilarious. All right, so our 767 is not going to be our next arrival, but it is number 2. Next arrival is going to be American Airlines 2394 coming in from Charlotte. It's going to be an A321. 14 years of age. That one delivered in December of 2011 for our next arrival. About 27 minutes of flight time from Charlotte. So a very, very, very short Charlotte. And as we continue to look at Maya here, Maya, again, a brand new A321 delivered back in April. Some fresh paint from Maya the Jaguar. Here comes our flight from Charlotte. So again, if you are just tuning in, Aer Lingus having a bit of an issue here on touchdown. I don't know if he was too high or just unsteady on his arrival. But Aer Lingus going around. A321 make its way down to the end here. We'll stick with all the Frontier action happening here as we do have that 767 now number 1 for arrival, and then again followed by Aer Lingus. Let's check on Iceland. Iceland should be coming up here shortly. Ice 821 from Reykjavik, 11 minutes out. I don't know how many likes we're at, but let's try to get as many likes as possible here before the arrival of Iceland. Let's make Iceland one of our like challenges here. As we so graciously like to do. And again, if you guys have memberships or have been gifted memberships, feel free to use those tail emojis for your favorite airline. All right, FedEx, the 76 coming at your way in just a moment. I've already got eyes on FedEx. Trying to get my like counter to roll once again. 200 and how many likes? 238. Gives 18 with a $4.99 super chat. Hope everyone's having a great week. Thank you, Gibbs. I know I am now that I'm at the airport hanging out with you guys. We've got a Delta, I believe, a Delta 737 on the move. Here comes our FedEx 767-300 from Memphis, FedEx 785. Our final heavy arrival of the night. We still have one more heavy departure. So the 767 here will go full length all the way down to the end of the runway. Down to their terminal. They may not let them go full length tonight because, yeah, they're not going to. Because we've got Aer Lingus hot on their heels. So Aer Lingus making their second attempt at an arrival. 250 likes in over an hour. Thank you all for smashing the like button once again. Not sure when we're going to finish this evening. Depends. Depends on how many folks are watching and what all's going on. Around 9 o'clock. Y'all know that we like to stick around at least for the UPS A300 back to Louisville, Kentucky. We do have a couple other interesting departures. Some nights we try to get the FedEx departure as well as the 757 departure to Philadelphia for UPS. Not sure if we'll stick around that late tonight, but we might. All right, Aer Lingus with attempt number 2. Not much smoother this time than last, but it does look like maybe they touched down this time. Definitely did. We're only 50 likes away from our daily like goal already. So moving through the likes quickly this afternoon. All right, Aer Lingus finally touching down. Saw it. The American 777. All right, our last international flight of the night coming in just a few minutes. Are they downwind? Not yet. 7 more minutes for our Reykjavik flight. Iceland Air. Coming in the light blue tail tonight. Come on, light counter, roll, would you? I want it to roll so bad so I can watch the likes. Just makes it easier so that we can do our like challenges accordingly. Currently sitting at 257. That is absolutely amazing. We are an hour into the show and we're already over 250 likes. So the American 777 on the way. We got coming in from No, that's going to go to the other side. Looked like it was coming in this way. Our next arrival is going to be Delta 2782 coming in from Boston. That's a 737-800. That one be here in about 3 minutes, making their final turns down there. Susan, good afternoon. And again, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Wonderful Tuesday afternoons. Quite toasty out here. Your host is having vision problems because it's, well, I'll show you. The sun. And I got this here to block the camera from the sun. You see what you get when you get that. But anyway, that makes me look a little bit brighter, don't it? Again, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. All right, the American 777 coming up here in just moments. Hopefully we can get a good turn it up moment here for the American 777. Couple sitting out here at the end waiting for their departure. So you're currently looking at the 777 pushed back, ready to go. We've got Frontier on the move. We'll pick Frontier up on the other side here, on the American 777 side. In just a moment. Frontier departure off to Buffalo, New York. Frontier 2980. That one 9 years of age. Delivered in August of 2016. Yeah, so Pip will be on shortly after us. Maybe a little before we end here this evening. Miss Carolina should be able to set up the redirect for that, if she knows how. Send you guys out to Dallas Loves Field when we're done here. So the American 777 working its way around the corner. That was our Delta from Boston. Next arrival, Iceland from Reykjavik. So according to my computer, we're still sitting at 257 likes. Again, the American 777 up next for departure. So, Miss Carolina, you'll have to go under today's show in YouTube Studio, and then you'll see the redirect. And then I think you have to go to our something or other, not the one that it's already on, but you'll have to go to the other one, and it'll show you followers and other affiliate stations. It's nice squealing sometimes. We've got a Delta as we wait for the American triple to come around. And Missy with a $5 super chat. We're the ERJ JFK waving from D6. Oh, down on D6. Oh, there we go. Wrong way. Went the wrong way. Sorry. D6. Are you guys in the window? Let me know where you're at. There is gate D6. Thank you for the support. Again, let me know where you're at. And I will try to get you on camera. A couple of Apaches nearby. That sounds about right. Those Apaches hanging out just on the other side of the parking garage here. Here we go, Iceland from Reykjavik. Our final international arrival of the evening. We'll see this departure a little later on, about 8:30 or so. Always a beautiful shot of Iceland. Yeah, Aer Lingus having 2 attempts at it here. American 777 getting out there. Sorry, I'm trying to look in like 3 different directions at the same time. Apologies. So we get Iceland ready to come off. I'm trying to make sure the American 777 not ready to go just yet. Again, no radio for me tonight. Got the radio at home. that's all, Sam. That's only on Sundays that we leave with the arrival of Aer Lingus. We probably would have stuck around for the departure of Aer Lingus in Iceland on Sunday had the weather stayed decent, but the weather giving us a hard time again on Sunday. Got a good 7-hour show in, but giving us a little bit of fuss. All right, so there's the American triple getting ready to go. They're waiting on one other arrival. We've got Republic Airways at 4596 coming in from Nashville, Tennessee, an hour and 14 minutes of flight time for the E-175. That one, 12 years of age, delivered in March of 2014 for our arrival. Zcam, it's okay. I talked about it at the beginning of the show that our camera angle today was a little bit off because of the fact that, well, there was no parking upstairs. I'd much rather have been upstairs, but there was nowhere to park up there. We just happened to get lucky with the spot that we got, so it is a better vantage point for some things, but other things not so much. I was really hoping that they would switch to the 2.3s before we got on the air tonight. No such luck. Iceland and the American 777 going to make things very difficult for your host. Difficult decisions. All right, enjoy the 777. We're going to crank it up. But hopefully you guys were able to hear it. Beautiful shot of the Iceland was going to make things a little bit more difficult, but Iceland did not come around the corner like we thought they were going to. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that 777 departure. Fareed, good evening. Truck fan. So on the 21st, that's a Saturday, isn't it? I won't be here Saturday. Or is the 21st a Sunday? Days just run together. That's not this weekend, that's next weekend, isn't it? Got a lone Delta sitting out here at the end of 23 left. Alright, so we need to check on one of our favorites. It's coming in just a minute. I don't know that we're going to see it on our side, so not a whole lot your host can do about that. But the FedEx ATR Mountaineer Cargo 7503 coming in from New Bern, that ATR 72600 coming up in just a few minutes. Now it may go to the other side, it may come to our side. Fingers crossed the ATR will make its way over here as we get the Delta departure, the A320, excuse me. Oh, what is this? What is this? What are you doing early? Where are you going? Don't you know you got time? What time is it? 7:30. You're not supposed to depart for another almost 3 hours. What are you up to? All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 757 for UPS is going to make a daylight departure. Our FedEx, or our UPS 757, coming out in the daylight. Should be headed off to Philadelphia. We'll find out more in just a minute. Well, CRJ arrival. Delta connection. Boy, it sounds like one of these planes are actually running down here and trying to get out of here, but they're not. Somebody's got a really loud APU. It's a Tuesday. So the 21st is Tuesday. See, I can't put my days together. So we should be here for that. I assume you'll be on Alaska Airlines back to Seattle. Hopefully they'll depart just as we get on the air. Oh, 10 minutes late. Okay, interesting. So this one off to Memphis. Normally anytime we see the 757 for UPS, it is off to Philadelphia, and it's normally around 10:04 p.m. So interesting that they're going to let this one go early. Hopefully that's a good sign for what's to come. Hopefully they'll continue that because, you know, we all love the 757. Would you guys like a quick crank it up moment for the 757? Let's see those thumbs up if you want a crank it up moment for the 75. FedEx ATR touching down over on the other side, sadly. No such luck for the ATR. So that means our next arrival is going to be Republic Airways 4518 coming in from Chicago O'Hare. 1 hour and 37 minutes of flight time for the E175. Or, yeah, our crank it up emoji, turn it up emoji. I always forget about that one. show us the turn it up emojis and we'll crank up the volume for the 7.5. So, as always, broadcasting to you guys in 4K. Hopefully everything looks decent tonight. I did make a couple of small changes to our camera. Again, camera's only been employed by us for 3 weeks. I'm still learning it and learning how to get our settings set perfectly. But I think we're getting close. And again, if you guys are new, feel free to subscribe. That is a free way to help the channel. An immense amount of support on Saturday. 116 new subscribers on Sunday. So thank you all for that. Immense amount of support coming out of Sunday's show. So now we wait for the 7.5 to get ready for departure. Again, we got Republic Airways coming at us from Chicago. That one, a 12-year-old E175. That one delivered in September of 2013. Got a close-up of a CRJ coming in. A little pilot cam for our CRJ folks. Going to be shy and hide behind the tree for a moment. Ooh, tight on the 727. Bet so. I can imagine how tight those containers are. That is something I'd like to see, the inside of one of the FedEx or UPS freighters. 6 likes away from 300. So we're going to smash our like goal out of the water this evening. And we still got our sunset segment coming up too, by the way. Should be a nice look at the sunset tonight. I really wish whoever's APU is running would shut off. Because I hear that really loud in my headset and it's giving me a headache. So, little noisy APU action. All right, here we go. I know there's a noisy APU, but we are going to turn it up. You guys ready? And of course, it's going to get even noisier. Enjoy the 757 back to Memphis. little disappointing with those APUs running just below us here. Let's turn that down just a little bit. Nice departure for the 7.5 back to Memphis. Got an American touching down. I'm gonna miss it. Not enough of him to see. CRJ still hiding behind the wall there. I know that APU is really really kind of obnoxious. So again, we'll have our sunset shot tonight in about an hour. Still lots to come before then. Speaking of, we've got United 1975 coming in from Newark, New Jersey, 737 MAX 8. That one arriving in just 3 minutes. That one delivered back in January of 2025. So a 1-year-old. 737 MAX 8 for United. A lot of nice new aircraft seems like this evening, no? 309 likes. Thank you, everybody. Keep that going. We still got at least until 9:15, 9:30, so we're looking at about 2 more hours. Again, smash that like if you haven't. So a couple of beacons going off here between Frontier as well as this Delta over here. Not sure if this Delta will pull out and come over to a gate and make a run tonight or not, or if it is here for the night. Could be here for the evening. Miss Carolina is like a crazy person behind the scenes texting me. It's hilarious. She has no... Finally, the CRJ on the move. They finally got out here to get this one. Is our marshal to marshal our CRJ in. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Yeah, Miss Carolina's had her hyper focus going for the last 2 days. So There we go. Hopefully this one's the one with the noisy APU, but I have a feeling that it's going to be that other CRJ on D6 over there that will hopefully push back and be quiet. All right, so I want to give you an update. We had 2 new friends join us earlier. We're up to 45, so not looking at 8 new friends tonight, which is A-okay. That is to be expected on a Tuesday night. It helps the channel to have more folks come back and watch the show and give us those watch time hours. Arrival out there. Who is that? That is, okay. United 1975 coming in from Newark, New Jersey. That's 737 MAX 8. Should be popping into, there it is. Popping into the screen there. Again, another almost brand new aircraft here. This one a year old. The 737 MAX 8 from Newark, New Jersey. Leaves tomorrow morning. Ready for this APU to be out of here. I'm hoping it's that United Express. The APU is going to give me a headache. 314 likes, so we've definitely passed our like goal for the night. Still got a couple of hours left in the show. Probably going to end around 9:30, depending on what time the UPS A300 departs. Coming out to get this E175 that landed a little while ago. As we get the CRJ or the E175 ready to go on the other side here. Miss Carolina gifting out 1 Carolina Aviation membership. That one going out to Andy Wilson. Eddie's asking if we can reach 450 likes tonight. That could be doable. Possibly. American Eagle E175. Over here to the other side, to the north end of Terminal 2. So we got one more ATR coming up. Mountain Air Cargo 7508 coming in from Wilmington. That one departed 11 minutes ago. 27 minutes before their arrival. Let's see what all we can get out of here. We've got a bit of a lull here. 21 minutes for our next arrival. Honestly, it doesn't look like This is one of those weird Tuesdays where we don't get a whole lot of arrivals for the 7:30, 8 o'clock hour. Still have Air Canada to go, I believe. Got an A319 back to Miami. Dang, United rolling right out of there. They didn't even go all the way to the end. They went to the closest taxiway there to get out on the runway. This will be a very light load. Not too many folks on board this E175, I would guess. Looking departure for the E175. Again, we still have our sunset segment coming up. If you guys enjoy the sunset, we do have that coming up here shortly. We're going to have some more departures here as the evening goes. So Hans, we've already had Iceland's arrival. The departure of Iceland coming up in about 50 minutes or so. We've had quite the exciting evening of plane spotting so far. It's been a very busy evening. That United was off to Washington Dulles. Republic Airways 3520. The Frontier you guys are looking at on your screen off to Philadelphia. Seymour, the Walrus livery, Frontier 2072. That A321-200 is 9 years of age, delivered in January of 2017. Breeze Airways departing off the other side, off to Fort Myers, Moxie 745. A220-300, that one delivered in September of 2023. That one 2 years of age. So again, we got a couple of minutes here before we get our next arrival. People with their horns. So like I said, a couple more minutes here for our next arrival. We do have the American Eagle CRJ pushing back, getting pulled out to the starting line here. That'll be another departure coming up in just a few minutes. My phone is slow charging at the moment. I don't know if it's because of the heat or what's going on. Unfortunately, no. I can't see 5 right tonight. 5 left only. Typically, when we're on the 5s, you can't see the other side. I know we got Lone Star 1 coming in shortly, I believe. Sadly, no such luck for us to see that one, unless it makes its way over here, which I highly doubt it will. So apologies, but if you guys aren't familiar with RDU and the way we do our show, we are in the parking garage, and it is quite difficult when they are on the 5s to get any sort of shot of 5 right. We're generally stuck with 5 left on days like today. Now, when they're on the 2-3s, we've got it. We've got both sides, which is fantastic for us, but again, tonight's one of those nights where we are a no-go. I'm going to try one more time to see if I can get my light counter to spin over. We've been trying on and off throughout the evening. I think the quality, the small adjustments that I made to the camera the other day have really made a little bit of a difference. Things looking a little bit better than they were. 332 likes, 169 folks watching. Hopefully my like counter will continue to roll. We might actually make it to 600 likes here before the end of the evening. Again, more than likely going to end with the UPS. A300 back to Memphis, Tennessee. Or Louisville, Kentucky. That's twice I've got my FedEx and my UPS mixed up this evening. Almost 10 new friends today. finally, the American Eagle CRJ getting a move on out from the alleyway. JetBlue back to San Juan, Puerto Rico, coming up, getting ready for their pushback. Oh, did we finally get rid of our noisy CRJ? I think we did. That CRJ hanging out there on D6 with the APU running, so things will quiet down a little bit here. Yeah, I feel like the changes that we made to the camera over the course of yesterday made a pretty significant change. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like during the day. We still have nighttime to go. See how this camera does. Again, we've had some struggles with the autofocus at night, but maybe tonight we can overcome that, hopefully. In a couple more minutes here. Miss Carolina's going crazy with the new control that she's found with the show. Again, she's able to do things behind the scenes now. So if you guys see anything weird from me, may not be me. It may be the missus there at home operating a couple of different items there. She's able to set up poll questions and do other things for you guys' input and fun. Stuff that's hard for me to do while I'm trying to focus on all of the planes. Speaking of which, that Delta CRJ is going to be followed up by a Delta 737 as we get this JetBlue back to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And we'll see Maya, that brand new A321, head back to San Juan, Puerto Rico as well. So both this one and the one in the background there, both coming in from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Got the CRJ up for departure. Still got the departure of Aer Lingus and Iceland coming up in about 30 minutes. 25 and 30 minutes to be exact. Iceland due to pushback at 8:30. Aer Lingus due to push back at 8:25. Hopefully those two will be leaving on time. So for those of you selecting airport tour, we have one of the terminal here at RDU. It was a live stream going on 2 years ago now. So feel free to go back and watch that one if you're interested in Terminal 2 here at RDU. Good look at our 737. So we wait for JetBlue to come around. Let's take a quick look at flight radar once again. See what we got. Got the FedEx ATR getting ready to turn base for final. That departure of that CRJ off to DCA. 30 minutes of flight time. Endeavor 5198. A 7-year-old CRJ. Delivered in January of 2019. So, will we get our FedEx ATR fix tonight? Or will this one go to the other side just the same as our other one did? Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll get that ATR. So here we go. Gonna get some departures going. I believe this 737 might be headed back to Boston. This might be our 737-800. Thank you so much, Eddie, with a $9.99 super chat. Send a PayPal for the computer fund or what's needed. Thanks for the channel and the entertainment. Thanks, viewers, for smashing my favorite button. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Eddie. Greatly appreciated. $9.99 super chats. Again, as soon as we're done here, we're going to send you guys out to Dallas Lowe's Field out in Texas. Continue on with the evening of plane spotting. A good friend of ours out in Dallas tonight. This is our 737-800 back to Boston. We'll find out in just a second, though. JetBlue back to San Juan, Puerto Rico, already on the move. And we'll get to check on our ATR, see if our ATR is coming this way or if it's going to stick to 5 right. Hopefully not. Hopefully it'll come 5 left. Run along with the runway heading. Hey, here it comes, our FedEx ATR. No disappointment tonight. The ATR from Wilmington. Good look at a channel favorite. Many of you guys enjoy the ATR. It's always nice to see this one up close. When we get the opportunity, most of the time, when I get the opportunity to see this one up close, I'm plane spotting. In our sunset segment coming up here in just about 20 minutes or so. I know a lot of folks like to come and hang out for the sunset segment. Next arrival for us, Republic Airways. Republic Airways at 4804 coming in from JFK, going to be an E175. Man, I wish I could see five right. This E175, 19 years of age, delivered in April of 2007. The Delta departure we saw a moment ago, that one off to Atlanta, Delta 2621. I thought that was going to be our one back to Boston. It's not quite ready to go yet. James RDU, good evening. 350 likes. Thank you all for getting us there tonight. 4 likes. Now we're at 350. So now we're still 100 away from Eddie's like goal for the night. Got you guys a little message there for our lurkers. So thank you, a huge thank you as always to our lurkers. To lurkers, if you're watching, thank you for hanging out. All right, so that so we've got about an hour and some change left in the show. Again, we still have Aer Lingus to go back to Dublin and Iceland to go back to Reykjavik. All coming up here in the next 30 minutes. Hopefully undelayed. We still have the sunset segment for you guys. And if you guys are new, it's just a peaceful time of the evening where we like to enjoy the last few minutes the sunlight. Should be a nice unimpeded sunset this evening. Let's see, some of these clouds mess with it, but hopefully not. There are a couple of clouds off to the west. Nothing of serious significance. This one's going to come up short. That's been the shortest arrival we've seen so far this evening, where they've come off the runway that early. These two still waiting for time slots to leave. In Maya, right here at the bottom of your screen, a brand new A321 delivered in April. That one going back to San Juan, Puerto Rico here shortly, should be. Guys are curious about what software we use, there it is, Flight Radar 24 for all of our flight info. So now again, like I stated a minute ago, the A300 for UPS, our scheduled final departure of the night around 9:15. If the airport has picked up in business, we may end up staying a little bit later. But as many of you guys know, it's not very strange to see one Tuesday night, much like tonight, where the action kind of dwindles down for about 30-45 minutes. And then other Tuesday nights, the action runs all the way through our show. So it's always a crapshoot on Tuesday nights. Nonetheless, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show. Like I said, it's still a long way to go here. I think we may have an Air Canada arrival later this evening too. I need to zoom out here on our flight radar. Do we have an Air Canada tonight? As of right now, no. This is one of those odd Tuesdays where there's not a whole lot of arrivals for the 8 o'clock hour. Endeavor 5322 is going to be our next arrival. That one about 10 minutes out. Unless we get a surprise, a small one. And of course, as you guys can see, we got these two sitting here waiting to roll. Get their passengers to their destination. Miss Carolina has been setting up some different things in the background too. So she is, as I told you guys, she's at home working in the background, setting polls, chatting, doing all kinds of different things. So she's been setting up highlights too. So that's something that we've never done before with the show, because it's hard for me to do that and operate the camera at the same time. So I'll be anxious to see what we have as far as highlights go for tonight. I'm sure the Aer Lingus go-around earlier this evening was one of those highlights. I don't even know how the highlights work, honestly. So Miss Carolina at home learning something that even I don't know anything about. YouTube's one of those things where it's like, you gotta sit down and you gotta learn what's going on. I've got an American 737 joining the party out here at the end of the runway, getting ready to head to their destination. Up to 360 likes. Nice turnout for likes for a short Tuesday evening show. We really gotta start enjoying and soaking up all of the sun that we can. Because from here on out, for the rest of the year, we're on a downward spiral when it comes to time, sadly. We're losing daylight. We're losing it quite quickly. I think they said for August you lose 2 minutes of daylight almost every day for the month of August. I did see also in the news about daylight savings time. Hopefully that'll get passed and we don't have daylight savings time anymore. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a huge fan of daylight savings. I never have been. Maybe we can get that bill will get passed into law and we won't have to change our clocks anymore. All right, so that last departure, American Airlines 2361 off to Dallas-Fort Worth. Again, speaking of Dallas, we're going to send you guys out to Dallas Loves Field for some continued action this evening as soon as we're done here. Yeah, Eddie, I didn't see the end of the... Well, I thought the race was over when I got home. And, well, I did see that it didn't end until well after or right at 2 a.m. So good thing I didn't stay up to watch that on Sunday. I thought it was over, pretty close to over by the time I got home. You see us over here on the parking garage. Give you a wave. fooling us. I thought this one was getting ready to go somewhere, but obviously not. Yeah, that's what I meant. Daylight savings to stay permanent. Yeah, I don't like for the clocks to change back. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Sorry. Yeah, I saw a thing talking about it be like 8:02 for the sunrise here, which I'm okay with that as long as I get more time in the afternoon, which should be like 6 something. The sun would set 6:30-ish for us. We wouldn't be coming out here in the wintertime and starting our wintertime shows straight off in the dark. That's for sure. Definitely be okay with that. Not starting our shows in the dark. So the CRJ, I'm going to say that CRJ is either headed to Philadelphia or it's headed to DCA. We'll find out here shortly. It's not on my radar currently. And we'll get more flight info for Frontier in just a moment as well. Neither one of their transponders on where flight radar can pick them up. But I'm going to assume that that's headed off to Philadelphia. We've got one coming in from Philadelphia here in just a little bit. So we'll find out. Shortly. Man, I love golden hour. This time of the day is just amazing to me. I wish we were over on the other side of the runway for golden hour, but like over there where the construction's at, we get all the good lighting. CRJ starting up down below us. Looks like Maya, our 3-month-old Airbus, getting ready to go. Beacons on for Maya. There for Frontier Airlines. That one back to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Endeavor 5322 coming in from DCA. 39 minutes of flight time. That's going to be our next arrival. Could be LaGuardia. Could be. There is an American Eagle CRJ coming from Philadelphia, so I think once that one gets closer, this one will head that way. Most of the time it's Philadelphia, or I guess there is a couple from LaGuardia in there. I always feel like we see them more from Philadelphia and which call it, DCA. There is another one sitting over here, by the way. There's 2 American Eagle CRJs, one of which is still on the gate. We're waiting for our CRJ arrival. Getting closer to the sunset segment. again, let's see, what time is it? Aer Lingus should be ready for pushback here in just a minute. Neither Aer Lingus nor Iceland are where we can see them, but we will see Iceland's pushback, but they'll have to be pushed into the alleyway. But no Aer Lingus view this evening. So the go-around, they had an unstable approach. Aer Lingus, very, very unstable for their initial arrival tonight. So they did make a second attempt, landed that one perfectly. No issues for them along that second arrival attempt. A321 just sitting over there, barely poking its nose out from around Terminal 2. That one getting ready to head back to Charlotte. Again, continue to smash the like button, you guys. Again, broadcasting in 4K. If you guys are just tuning in, always trying to broadcast in 4K. We've got our sunset segment coming up in just a minute. The sun is getting close. Again, if you guys are new to the channel and new to the sunset segment, which we didn't have on Sunday, we like to watch the last couple of minutes of the sun. Not quite where we need it to be just yet. Find this button when I need it. All right, let's enjoy the sunset. We don't have much going on. We do have a CRJ pulling back here, but enjoy the sunset. just in time. Iceland Air pushing back. Again, Maya, that brand new A321, you heard that one starting up down below us as we get the Mad Max of Iceland ready to go. A couple of CRJ departures. We'll find out where that American Eagle CRJ is off to. That one coming up right now here in just a second. We're going to hang out with Iceland. So we should have Shamrock push back as well. Can't tell where Shamrock's at currently, so hopefully we'll see that XLR here in just a couple of minutes as well. So the American Eagle CRJ getting a move on. The A321 Frontier back to San Juan, Puerto Rico, getting a move on from this side. So I think Eddie said we're at 371 likes. Keep those likes coming. Let's try to get to 400 here before we end the show. Again, we still got a little over 30 minutes left in the afternoon or evening. Gonna roll into the darkness here. Gonna get that UPS A300 back to Louisville, Kentucky. There goes our American CRJ. It's sat at the end of the runway waiting for departure for quite a while. Getting ready for their departure. Got another American Eagle E175 off and rolling. We'll find out where the American Eagle CRJ was headed in just a second. So the American Eagle off to Philadelphia as a PSA Airlines 5590. That one an 11-year-old aircraft delivered back in October of 2014. Ramona Aviation gifting with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Ramona. Ramona always hanging out with us. The parking and the cold drink on me. Love your streams. Thank you so much, Ramona Aviation. Make sure you guys go and check Ramona out too here on YouTube. Not only here, but also on Instagram as well. She's got all of her Dulles and DC items going up right now. Great content from her week-long vacation there in D.C. over the 4th of July holiday. Thank you so much, Ramona, as always. Ramona comes and hangs out with us. You guys probably saw her for 4th of July if you were hanging out with us for the 4th of July. So we got the MAX back to Reykjavik on the way out. Again, we're still waiting on Aer Lingus, that A321XLR getting ready. Hopefully they're not too far behind Iceland here. Maybe they're in front of Iceland. We'll find out in just a minute. We still have that American A320. No, that's Frontier. That A321 took off a little while ago for American Airlines, I believe. And we have American Eagle CRJ, E175 ready for departure. Quite the beautiful after effects from the sunset that we normally see. Not a lot of clouds tonight to give us that beautiful look. Another nice departure for American Eagle. As we have our, like I said, 3-month-old A321 ready to go back to San Juan, Puerto Rico. 379 likes, 21 likes away from 400. Keep those likes coming. If you guys haven't smashed the like button, please do so. Let's try to get to 400 for a Tuesday night. There's Aer Lingus. So Aer Lingus and Iceland must have been right next to one another. Ugh, that looks horrible. to get us set up more for the nighttime as well. I'm starting to get more actual camera lens. If you have any recommendations, that would be nice. For our normal plane spotting, like photos and stuff, we use a Nikon with a 150 to 600 millimeter lens. Our new camera here for all of our live streams is fairly decent. Again, we're going to try to push it to its limits and see how we can do this evening. Yeah, anything with a 150 to 600 millimeter range is good for plane spotting. Iceland back to Reykjavik. Got to operate in manual focus after dark, so hopefully everything will look decent. Does not do well at night as far as focusing goes, but it looks like it's going to be fine. As the MAX 8 heads back to Reykjavik, Iceland. We've got an American A321 hanging out at the end of the runway now. Again, we're waiting on the departure of this A321 XLR. Miss Carolina's having a conniption fit at home. So again, 171 folks watching. Thank you all for sticking around this late in the evening. Thank you all for hanging out as usual. You guys are amazing. Another amazing show this evening. Again, hopefully we can get to 400 likes here before the end of the night. Again, we're ending the night with the UPS A300 back to Louisville. Got a United arrival. Oops. Yeah, that's not something that I would like to do. That's for sure. Be 7 hours on a single aisle plane. That A321 sitting out here at the end, finally ready to looking like it's ready to go. Should see Aer Lingus in just a moment. What the hell is that? Interesting sounds. So I use a Z7 II, a mirrorless. I enjoy the mirrorless cameras. Nice CRJ arrival. Oops, wrong button. All right, the A321 up and ready to go. I believe this one's off to Charlotte. Find out here in just a second. Is Aer Lingus going to line up and wait? Not quite yet. We've got a 737 MAX for United. That one came in from Newark, New Jersey earlier. Let's get over here to our XLR A321 for Aer Lingus. So Aer Lingus is ready to roll. for my go-around earlier this afternoon back to Dublin. In United, this was United 1975 from Newark, New Jersey earlier this afternoon. This one ready to head back to 737 MAX 8. So again, Aer Lingus, the A321XLR, a 1-year-old, delivered in August of 2025. Yeah, somebody had mentioned the P8 over there. Unfortunately, as you guys know, can't get over there on a day like today. It would have been nice if we would have been on the other side, or they would have been on the 2-3s. If they would have been on the 2-3s, we would have been golden. 390 likes. Let me refresh this one more time. Actually, you know what? I don't want to refresh it until I know if it's going to roll or not. But currently sitting at 390 likes, 10 away from, well, 100 past our original like goal for the evening. Little CRJ action popping in back here. 4 likes from 4. There it is, 400. 161 folks watching. Thank you all for tuning in and sticking with us throughout the evening here. Again, not too much longer left in the evening here. We're waiting on UPS back to Louisville. That one coming up here in just a few minutes. Oh, I guess United is not going back out. Looks like United might be headed over to the hard stand for the night. It looks like they might be hauling this one up the hill to the hard stand. We've got an arrival. Let's see. Who do we got? Delta 1518 coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. 737-900ER. This one changing from an A321. This one delivered in December of 2018. 7-year-old 737. Our arrival. Now, when I flew in the other day, this one was not what I flew in on. It was an A321. Looking like they're doing the 7-3 tonight. monitor what this looks like. Again, we've only used this camera at night a couple of times. I want to make sure that it's nice and sharp. If we have to turn some things down, we definitely will. But I just want to know, again, we've been talking about this for quite some time, throughout the day, that we've been testing and messing around with the camera. So we just got to find our sweet spot for at night, where it's not too noisy, but it's still bright enough we can see what's going on. There is a Delta 1518. The Delta CRJ arrival. Again, just waiting on one more departure for the evening. Should see that UPS A300 coming around here in a little bit. Wish there was some sort of trick to this camera at night, but I haven't found one yet. So again, like I said, we've got to work on all aspects of the camera. All right, next arrival we've got Air Canada. Coming in from Montreal. I wasn't sure we had an Air Canada. That one departing 1 hour 48 minutes ago. It's going to be an E175 SU. That one 20 years of age, delivered in September of 2005. It's quite the old CRJ or E175, making its way in. Another CRJ pushback here just below us. Thank you so much, Eddie. Absolutely, lots and lots of effort goes into putting these shows together for you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. all the way to the end and watching every hour of the show. That really, the watch time hours really help the show. I don't know how many of you guys know that, but the more you guys watch, the more it helps this channel. So thank you all for spending hours and hours with us. We've got Endeavor 5442 coming in from New York. CRJ 900LR. This one, 15 years of age, delivered in July of 2011. UPS popping up on flight radar. Thank you, David. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. Again, lots of time, lots of effort goes into doing all this, especially these days where I come straight from work. Looking at a, let's see, 9:06. We're looking at an 11-hour day so far. I start my work day at 8 a.m. Looking at an 11-hour day so far. Some days we go up to 14 hours, depending on how late we stick around here, or depending on how early I get up. Some mornings I get up 7 a.m., some mornings 5 a.m., some mornings 6 a.m. It just varies. But again, as of right now, looking at about an 11-hour day. So again, I've got a couple more minutes here for UPS. UPS is up on flight radar, and they have made their push. UPS 1275 back to Louisville, an A300. This one, 21 years of age, June of 2005. Coming our way here in just a few minutes. That'll be the last plane of the evening. David, I wish there was more things to do in the evening. I'd stay out here even later. Honestly, I don't mind being out here. I wouldn't mind being out here all the time, honestly. There goes our CRJ. We should see UPS here in just a minute. Trying to lighten things up via some of the whatchamacallits too. I'll have to remember to turn that back to the daytime video. Did that make any kind of significant difference? A little bit of a difference, didn't it? All right, here comes the A300 for UPS. Our last departure, official last departure of the night. So we'll see the A300 one more time. So we got, check this out, an arrival from the northeast, or the northwest, excuse me. That one joining the pattern here in just a minute. CRJ hanging out there. Still got a little bit of light hanging on here. A little bit of sunlight. Hanging on. All right, here comes our A300 quite quickly. Of course, we'll take a look at flight radar one more time before we end. This should be the perfect crank it up moment. Enjoy. That one off to Louisville, Kentucky. That one our final scheduled departure of the evening. Let's find out if we've got anything else here before we decide to call it an evening. We've got a Southwest off in the distance and an American from Miami. Frontier, 14 minutes. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. All right, you guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed tonight's show. Another Tuesday show done. Thank you all again for tuning in, as always. Thank you to all of the for all of the contributions as always. Of course, thank you all for hanging out. That's always fun. We'll be back on Thursday. Have another Thursday night show planned for you guys. Hopefully we'll be able to find a little bit better parking spot on Thursday. Excuse me, can't talk. And then, of course, we'll be back on Sunday as per usual. Probably start time of 1 p.m. on Sunday, just like we did this past Sunday. As far as Thursday goes, weeknight shows start at 6 p.m. So thank you all once again for tuning in and watching the show. I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Good night, everybody.